Eminem, he is one of the more polarizing figures in the rap game, but he's also one of the nicest MCs on a technical level. Like, you don't have to like the guy, but it's hard to say that he's not a masterful rapper. What is good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Mob. If you are rocking with this content, go ahead and smash that like button up for your boy. Also, subscribe if you haven't. But today, I'm going to hit y'all with my thoughts on this new project from Eminem entitled The Death of Slim Shady. So, like I said, Eminem is one of the nicest when it comes to pen games and being technically advanced as an MC. However, at the same time, I don't feel that he's any better than other artists who occupy a similar lane, like Lupe, for instance. Let's say Elzai, Royce the 5'9", Pharoah Monch, Black Thought, Crooked I, Joe Ortiz. But he is now back after 4 years with a straight up concept album that is truly bizarre, but still a return to form kind of album for Eminem. Now, before one presses play on this project, you almost have to understand the premise behind the concept, and that is his alter ego Slim Shady kidnaps Marshall and forces him to make all these disrespectful, all these anti-woke, anti-PC songs. So in order for any of it to make sense and not just come across as completely juvenile, although let's be clear, it is still juvenile, an understanding of the intentions behind the concept is essential. But it also does slightly make me wonder if deep down Eminem actually enjoys rapping as this anti-woke, anti-cancel culture kind of guy. Because whether he intends it to or not, the subject matter here, it does play right into the hands of some of the talking points used on the far right, like Candace Owen type figures. These people tend to be anti-hip-hop. They don't understand it. They laugh at it. They think it's a joke. You know, the type of folks who constantly double down on the notion that the society we live in is entirely too woke and it's entirely too politically correct. So it's just a thought. I mean, I get it that he's in full character mode here, but at times it does feel like the lines between Slim and Marshall could be blurred. Yeah, this project does contain 19 songs lasting an hour and 4 minutes. We have production from the likes of Luis Restro, Eminem himself, who does a bulk, White Gold, Fred Drake, Dem Joints, Don Cannon, Dr. Dre, and Mr. Porter. But with that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with that track-by-track breakdown. The opener, Renaissance, has a suspenseful, hard-hitting beat, and Eminem is flowing razor sharp. Some really impressive lines where Mechanic's brain with a pinch of Big Daddy Kane in it. I can show you the ropes till you get the hang of it. Elephantitis of the nuts, element of intelligent hoodlum, arrested development, cellar dwellers, and wise intelligent. And those lines, really show that Eminem is a true student of the hip-hop game, and I always like how he shouts out the MCs who influenced him. So yeah, overall, Renaissance was one of the better songs. It's just a punchy opener to set it off. Track 2, Habits, it has a bouncier beat with a hook from White Gold. Now the hook does kind of harken back to those good old early Aftermath days. I mean, it honestly sounds like it could have belonged in an older Exhibit album for some reason. But yeah, here Eminem is acknowledging his problem with addiction and also his habit or addiction to being so disrespectful. He takes shots here at Bruce Jenner, midgets, and South Park. But yeah, the South Park references do come across as very dated. But on the third verse, he does go into a crazy pocket, which I found to be impressive. I really did like the flow switch up here. It's classic M. Track 3, Trouble, is more of an interlude, but I did enjoy the rugged, darker instrumental from Dem Joints and Fred Drake. And to keep it a buck, I almost wish M would have rapped a lot longer on a beat such as this. Next is Brand New Dance, and it's an up-tempo track with a circus-like beat that is catchy but also corny. But in fairness, it was still a solid attempt for M to recapture the glory days of what an early 2000s Eminem single would sound like. Following track, Evil, is a banger, and it is signature M. It's backed by an eerie atmospheric beat, and Eminem's hook is very melodic and tuneful. The vibe here did put me in the frame of mind of some D12 track. On this one, M is just speaking how ruthless and rotten to the core he is. There are some gay lines that are pretty silly and over the top, but he does have some hardcore hip hop references like, and I just got it made like Special Ed said, word to Redman, I'm a meth head. And you really can't go wrong, with bars with Redman, Special Ed, and Method Man references. I guess the only thing better or iller would have been if he had those artists featured. But I did enjoy Evil. Now track 6, All You Got Skid, is where Slim Shady reminds Marshall that he's forever indebted to him and that he's all he's got. Now this leads right into the Dr. Dre produced Lucifer, which has a dope, nightmarish instrumental. That's one of the standouts. Yeah, I kind of wish there was more Dre production here. And the hook from Sly Piper does feel a bit reminiscent to some of the sounds we got on that Dr. J Compton album. But here, Eminem talks about getting canceled. He states, before I get banned, kicked off TikTok, Twitter and TikTok, because they so damn ticked off bitter. He also does take several shots at Candace Owens. Yeah, all in all, Lucifer was one of the highlights. Immediately after is Antichrist, a dark, zany record that does have those waking up from a fever dream vibes. I don't know how often I'd return to this, but there were some good bars like, but if you wonder why Marsh considered the harshest spitter, cause I spit a bar like it's a cross between Nas and Jizza, Biggie, Smalls, and RZA. The following is one of the best songs, Fuel featuring J.I.D. or Jid, however you'd like to call him. I've heard both, but it's set to a trap like beat from Mr. Porter that was pretty on point. I will say out of the features on this project, I did enjoy J.I.D. the most. But, in fairness, Eminem did hold his own, and he has some standout lines like, I grew a little early each day till I became a god like James Todd. Now your arms are too short to BK Brawl, and D-Day small like DJ Paul. After this is Road Rage, where we get a return to some Dre production and another Sly Piper hook. And all of this was done to a quirky, a boom bap type of track with a brief Juvenile sample on the back. And I kind of dug this track sonically, but there were some ridiculous Lizzo fat jokes, more transgender jabs, and talks to him wanting a reason to crash out. I don't know. Immediately after was Houdini, now the first single, which contained a Steve Miller Band sample. It is a catchy track that actually grew on me sonically, although initially I didn't care for it, but it is oozing in that early Aftermath nostalgia. And there is the breaking news skit where people are protesting M for his offensive lyrics, and that's followed up by Guilty Conscious 2, which instrumentally is not as compelling as the original, but Frederick and them joints do a serviceable enough job. This also represents a turning point in the album where Eminem or Marshall finally takes charge and kills Slim Shady, but Eminem, he's going all out here. He's going at midgets, he's going at deaf people, more Christopher Reeves talk, as well as Lord Jamar and Ja Rule. Next song, Head Honcho, features Easy Mill, who I don't find to be that impressive, but it seems like Eminem really likes to work with this guy. This has a nocturnal trap-like instrumental that wasn't bad, but Eminem's verse was stand out, and I kind of wish this song only featured M. Then we get a huge sonic change-up with the song Temporary with Skylar Grey. Now, I'm far from a Skylar Grey fan, but she did a decent job here, and it's just a nice, heartfelt track dedicated to his daughter. That is kind of hard to hate on unless you're just an asshole. Track 16 is Bad One, and White Gold returns with a hook once more, but I thought it was kind of mid. On this one, M is calling out the corny white rappers. He states, haters, I made it for you, but like when 3 Stacks just plays the flute, I ain't got shit to say to you, so that was actually hilarious. There are also shots at Diddy and Kanye, but my favorite bars would have to be Biggie is gone and Tupac, and I'm still alive and you not. The Woo God, so who died and made you God? That's incredible wordplay right there. Afterwards is one of the gems, Toby, which features Baby Chon and Big Sean, and it's set to a trippy banger of a beat. Baby Tron did all right, but Big Sean was way better in my opinion. Big Sean said, "Bitch, I come from the D where they be BMFing, where they moving them keys like a chord progression." That was fire. Second to last track is the Guess Who's Back again, or Guess Who's Back skit featuring Ken Kniff. But this project does wrap up with the poignant Somebody Save Me featuring Jelly Roll. It's one of Eminem's more introspective tracks in a while, and he's coming clean with his addictions and apologizing for all the folks he let down when he was going through his most intense issues. But we have an emotional hook from Jelly Roll. Now, I can't say I listen to Jelly Roll that much, but you know, it's good for what it is. So overall, I'm gonna give this project a rating of a 3.5 to a strong 3.5 mics. Now, I would not be mad at someone saying this is a 4 mic project, but personally for me, I don't have it as that. He did lose some points for some of the juvenile subject matter. Now, I understand, yes, he was in character, but realistically, I don't know how often I'm gonna want to play some of the songs when he's in that over-the-top character mode, like driving to work in 2024. Am I gonna want to hear the Christopher Reeves jokes? I don't think so. That being said, I think he did execute the concept fairly well. I mean, it was crystal clear what his objective was. You could say he overemphasized it or, you know, hammered it over our heads. Therefore, you know, a couple of the tracks could have been trimmed off. But Eminem is rapping on this record. The flows are there. His voice doesn't sound as forced. You know, with the flows, the wordplay was on point. The creativity is present. And the production, I would say, is consistent, pretty consistent front to back, and objectively better than his more recent releases. That being said, I still found some of the beats to be just passable. Perhaps they fit Eminem well in this context, but you know, as beats themselves, they weren't all that hot. But they did manage to tap into the sonics that an Eminem album would have had in the 2000s, and I think that was intentional. And some Eminem Day One fans are definitely gonna love the album for that reason. But me personally, I still could have used more variety sonically. I was thinking, why couldn't he have had a Griselda sounding beat? Why couldn't we have gotten an Alchemist beat? A Conductor Williams beat? Heck, Drake, who gets so much hate these days, even had Conductor and Alchemist on his last project. I think these are fair questions to ask since Eminem deep down is a student of the game and comes across as such a hip-hop guy. And with a platform as big as his, it would have meant a lot to the culture, you know, to feature production from some traditional producers or some more underground ones. So got a slight issue with that. In terms of the features, they were okay. I did like Big Sean and Jids the most. Skylar Grey, it is what it is. You know, she's gonna be on an Eminem album. But I was wondering, like, why couldn't we have gotten Royce on here? Why was there no Griselda? I mean, you could have, M could have even gotten some of the younger street Detroit rappers. Yeah, overall, I still feel this was a pretty solid return album for M. I don't know how often I'll revisit it, but for what it is, I can understand it and appreciate it. And I think Day One Eminem fans will enjoy what he delivered. And I have seen folks say that it's his best album in recent years, and yes, I'd have to agree. My favorite tracks include Renaissance, Evil, Lucifer, Fuel, Road Rage, Houdini, Temporary, Toby, and Somebody Save Me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Mob. I am signing out. As always, it's peace and blessings. Eminem, The Death of Slim Shady.